Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here tonight with the Bills playing Team Overtake in the Nostalgia League. We're gonna have a bit of a free show for you tonight. We've took out all the stops. Want to say a quick thank you to Raymer as the House Platypus coach for providing us with some of these stats right now. Hold on just a moment here. I need to get something else on my other screen. Okay, we're good. So, just going to break it down tonight. So like I said, tonight is the tiebreaker bracket for the Nostalgia League. Basically, if you don't know the format, there were four distinct groups, and each of those groups had a, couple teams in them, and the scores of those teams are going to be used to help see the next one. But unfortunately, we're going to need a little bit more CS to decide how the next stage is going to shake out. So what you see here, Bills, Overtake, FC Detonate, and Villainous are the winners of each of the groups. Notably, Villainous, the X-Team Mouse Corps with Dylan, Burglar, and other friends who did get picked up by the org, so congrats to them. And Overtake, #1 in main regular season, so they're trying to, double dip here, get more wins in different leagues. And then we got the Bills and FC Detonate. FC Detonate, I think they're a real org, and Bills is the up and coming Epic people. They're also in main. So, if you like to think about it, Bills versus Overtake right now is in fact could be the grand final of main. But that, like I said, that is the match we're casting tonight. Bills versus Overtake. Now, there's a lot of interesting ones. Like I said, Overtake, #1 in main. Bills, #3 in main. So these two people are kind of on a collision course to maybe potentially take the main playoffs themselves. Bills got a bye. I don't know if Overtake got a bye, but Bills came in strong throughout the open season, losing only a couple games, and Overtake lost only one game. Now, that match that Overtake lost, the single loss they had in their entire season was to Bills, but not in the way you think. This was a forfeit loss because a player had an anti-cheat issue, couldn't get into the server, so unfortunate. So if you think about it, this is essentially a recreation of that match. The conditions tonight have aligned where these two teams will now play, and we can really decide how this match could have theoretically gone. But let's get into some stats here real quick. So just want to take a look at the overall rating of go over the ratings of the Overtake players. This is their main roster. You'll see why I had to specify that. But over the last 3 months, really we want to look for Jason, or Dash Jason, whatever how you want to call him. He seems to be a bit of a star player, 1.43 rating across all the matches. This includes previous Nostalgia League experience and, of course, the entirety of the regular season of main. So time and time again, he seems to be old reliable for this team, and no one else on the team besides themselves. All of them have at least 1.0 rating. Learsy, maybe an anchor player. We'll never know unless we get to actually talk to the players. But funnily enough, since we've done this, not the first time we've done one of these pre-match seconds, we can actually get a look at how the Bills have played since. So this graphic here shows off a bit of a interesting how the Bills players have kind of shifted over the last couple of weeks. The last time we did one of those, we were like halfway through. So towards the end of main here, you can see that the ratings, while they haven't shifted much, there are some things to point out. A Seal has dropped from a 1.48 to a 1.39 rating. Still nothing to gawk at, but just showing that, perhaps the earlier competition wasn't really up to his standards. And we can see Manil, Galaxy, and Nick have all stepped up here, basically going, all of them increasing in rating. Manil taking the lead on the team rating-wise, 1.4 for himself, not too shabby. And obviously with Coat, he has ran a solid rock, Mr. Consistent. His rating good down by 0.01, but that's within statistical anomaly. Same for Galaxy. So something important to note between these two teams is that while Jason seems to have a bit of a higher peak, 1.43 compared to all the Bills overall on average have a higher rating. You can see Nick has the lowest rating 1.11, but Learsy had the lowest rating 1.0. So we'll have to see if this becomes a game of team play or individual prowess. But let's move on to it. So let's talk about some of their maps here. So the Bills, their map pool hasn't changed at all since they played a little bit more Inferno in the time here, but proven to be maybe a bit of a punish pick out of other teams here. They've played it 5 times now. They have lost it multiple times to various other teams. But you can see their staples of Dust 2 and Ancient remain strong. They've played Dust 2 multiple times since we last checked in here, and they have not dropped a map, showing that you really don't want to take these guys in Dust 2. That's just their map. Mirage, also a bit of a middling one. They've only played twice with a 50% win rate, so you can't really take too much of that into account here. But it'll be interesting to see, because when we go over to the Overtake map pool, we'll notice an interesting thing. So Overtake as a team, they love their Mirage and Anubis. Mirage, they're willing to play 5 times. They have 80% win rate. And they don't seem to have a weak map here, but you have to point. It's a really top-heavy map pool by frequency. So they have 50% win rates on Ancient Dust 2, but they both played them twice. And Anubis, they played 100%. I think they're taking advantage of the fact that maybe it's a map that teams don't really like to play, and they can use it as a punish trick for their own, and maybe catch some teams off. You know, if you ban away some of like the typical maps, you can sneak this one by. And I don't think Bills are gonna let this one through. Bills have played Ancients, or the only time Bills have played Anubis was during playoffs, during best of 3s, during Open 9-10, when they kind of were forced to because of how that pick ban system works. But probably not going to be seeing that too much here. Though realistically, we want to see the overlapping maps here. So both teams play Mirage, Ancient, and Dust 2. I'm pretty sure it will come down to Mirage Dust 2. That is my guess. You can see here, it is Overtake's most played map, and Dust 2 is Bill's most played map. So we're coming down to one of those two just to see where we will end up. But let's move on to some of the head-to-heads here. So looking at the Mirage head-to-head, we talked about it a bit. Overtake, this is clearly one of their home maps. You can see I've bolded all the stats. It is all Overtake on Mirage here. You know, higher win rate. They've played it more. Ignore the fact that it says 5 times played there. They've played 6 times and won 80% of them. So that is going to be 4 out of 6 times have won on their map. So maybe not quite of a strong map as Dust 2 for Bills, but still their strongest map overall. And you can see overall they manage these really high win rates. 5v4s are basically guaranteed rounds, and they could even claw back a fair share of 4v5, something that Bills can't quite seem to do in the 2 times they've played, 60% versus 36%. And the pistol win rates are pretty interesting here because both teams are winning 50% at least of their pistol rounds. Overtake obviously has an edge. They seem to be a little more experienced. So that's something that we'll have to look out for. That pistol could matter, but also opening picks will matter, especially for the Bills. They do not want to start any of these rounds 4v5. So let's move on to a bit. But we want to talk about who we're going to look at to be the carries on these maps here. So looking at the player spotlight on Mirage, obviously it's a seal for the Bills. He is playing the B on the T side and short on the CD position, so he's kind of over on that side of the map, managing a very good 1.22 ADR. But something that's going to have to matter even more is Jason. He has a crazy 1.5 rating after 6 maps and 101 ADR. That is a carry performance if I have ever seen one. And he will be on A for the whole side of the map. So very unlikely we see these two players clash unless it's a very specific play by either team. But so both sides, so the B site of Overtake and the A site of Bills are both going to worry about these tears. Hi, Challengers. Thank you. That prediction, I'm predicting Bills are win too. But if it gets Mirage, it's going to be a little bit tough for them. But we get even more deep stats here. So it's going to be the pistol rounds. So we have obviously more data on Overtake because they have played more. And we have less data for Bills. But on the T pistols, you'll notice that there's one key difference between these two teams that I'm interested in seeing how that plays out here. For Overtake's pistols, you see they're pretty spread out here. They go, sometimes they go app, sometimes they go mid, sometimes they go ramp, sometimes they go palace. For the Bills, they have not gone mid at all. They don't seem to like mid. Obviously, you can't really say much. This is from 2 maps, but across the 2 maps they've played, they have not gone mid once. So something that Overtake might try to do if they've been analyzing the demos is maybe fortify the sites versus some kind of rush. And the Bills here can maybe play a little more on their feet because Overtake have shown many different pistol rounds that they look at. That data changes a bit in the gun rounds. What I'm going to point out is that Jason, true to his position, you can see the purple is Jason. He loves that A ramp or A palace. So that's something that the A players of Bill are going to have to watch out for constantly. Meanwhile, over on the Bills, you can see that a Seal is playing towards B and playing towards mid. Very rarely goes towards A. So it's just something that it's really going to be, I think, which one of those players can really take over their side of the map on the T side better than the other, because that could determine a lot. But we're going to move on a bit. We're going to talk about Dust 2 a little bit here. So, looking at Dust 2, it becomes a little more mixed, but generally favors the Bills here. They've played this 6 times. They've played it against some of the toughest teams in Maine, and they have refused to drop a map. Meanwhile, Overtake has played this map. They've played it a bit, but they do not have quite the flawless win rate that Bills have. And you can see that's kind of reflected in the stats here. They're kind of matching themselves on the pistol round. Win rate's maybe slightly below where they want to be. But something that's very important to note, contrary to Mirage, Bills are way better at their 4v5 win rates than Overtake. So Bills are going to have a much better time on this map recovering from any early picks, losing any early openings, and something that Overtake are definitely going to watch out for, even if they get the entries. So, talking about the Spotlight suit, of course, it's a Seal and Jason again. These two people are going to be the ones, the heavy hitters once again, but once again, they're playing very different spots here. On the T side, they both like the tunnels position. Seal tends to prefer the lower, and Jason will be more of like the direct B lurk. So it's going to be on. I think the B players on the CD side are going to have a tough time, no matter how you shake it out on this map here. And they kind of avoid each other on the T side though, regardless. As Seal's more of a long player, and Jason's more of a mid player. But you can see Jason has a bit of an edge in stats, not quite as much as he did over Mr. Seal, but this is something that we're going to look out for. So keep watch when we're watching the games. If we're on Dust 2, keep watching Jason and Seal and how they play B here, and then contrary, look at how Seal will play B on the T side of Mirage, and Jason playing the A side, or the A side on T side Mirage. So something to look out for. That is if we hit these pug maps, but we're also going to talk a bit about the pistol rounds too. So we also have the same thing again. We have more data on Bills here. So Overtake, they've done 2 pistol rounds realistically. They've done a B rush and an A rush. The B rush didn't quite go so well. As you can see, there's 4 dead bodies right there. And the long take seems to be just kind of just grouping up and going somewhere. The Bills have showed a bit of a more varied spread, sometimes going lower. Lower is something important to think about if you are the Overtake. You know, are they going to go for this lower play, or are they going to go for something a little slower or towards top mid, not long? So that's something that you want to look out for, given, you know, the pistol round and how important it could be, considering both of them have a slightly below average win rate. Now on the gun rounds, something I want to point out very interestingly is that it looks like for Jason, his B plays seem to be a little more solo. Like you see, he's not here as often with other teammates. Meanwhile, the Bills, when they go for lower, it tends to be more of a combined arms approach. And something that is important is that there's some pace on the Bills side. You can see at 140 compared to Overtake's positions. You got Manil out mid, you got Manil out B with a Seal. You got Nick already halfway up long here. So the Bills might be pressuring a bit more on Overtake, and they got to kind of weather that storm and see how that goes for them. So, and then Overtake themselves might take a bit of a slower route, maybe play more gradual, more mid control, let Jason try and lurk out a bit on other sides of the map. Something you want to keep eyes for. Oops, sorry, that is Arrow asking for the stream link. I'm gonna link it to him so he can promote it. You know, Arrow's just so cool. Earlier today, he, you know, I was feeling kind of down. My car had to go in for the service, but Arrow came in clutch. Turns out he had, you know, his 25th. Oh, thank you. Good luck to whichever team, Bills or Overtake, whoever you're here. Appreciate you, Arrow. You are wonderful. Like I said, really, thank you for letting me borrow your 25th Ferrari after one of my cars in the shop today. Got a great time driving up and down New England. So, you know, good times, and just, you know, just Arrow things. So, yeah. But we're almost done. Are we done? Yeah, no more stats. Don't worry. That is not me telling you to go away. That is me telling you that we are getting into the game here. Oops, let me. We're gonna go into the veto here. Let me see what the veto turned out to be. We're on Dust 2, so ooh, very interesting. That's actually very interesting. So, let's see how the bands go. So Bills, of course, like I said, they banned Anubis, like I said. Overtake followed up with the Nuke ban. Bills followed up with an Ancient ban. Overtake banned Inferno. And what is it? And Bills banned Mirage. So that's something that's important to think about, because they're gonna, you know, we saw that despite Bills willing to play Mirage, Overtake just had a great advantage on them. And then I think we saw this coming. Overtake banned Overpass, and we end on Dust 2. Oh, sorry, I messed up. Okay. Dust 2. All right, so that's the battlefield. So just want to point out, this is all going to be kind of watching how the maybe ever so slightly more aggressive style of Bill's C side is going to mesh into whatever Overtake have for their CT side, and then maybe how the Overtake's slightly slower style is going to matter a bit more for the Bill's CT side. So that's something that these teams are going to have to all be worrying about at the moment. And we are in the server now, so that was that pre-match segment really got me into the match. That's I sometimes impress myself, but we're still waiting for some people to join into the server at the moment. It looks like we got an amount of people in. We have 3 people per team, so something that pretty decent. So looks like two people each team, and this is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be an interesting one. Realistically, Overtake, #1 team in main, finished #1 in the regular season, playing Bills. A match that should have happened a couple weeks ago, but due to a technical error, that is why we are now spectating. So I think it was simply fate that they got put into the same side of the bracket. Arrow might have seen that and gotten that ready for himself, but this is going to be an exciting one for sure. I'm thinking that on Dust 2, Bills definitely have the advantage here. Like, obviously, Overtake probably no strangers to playing the map themselves, as we can see, but they don't have a 6-map win streak on this map. Bills do, so gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. But also, we have to remember, this might be the Bills' toughest match yet. Actually, this might be the first time I'm lying. They had to play Freeze Unit a couple days ago, and that one I think was their toughest match. But #1 team in main could be tough, and I'm interested to see how this shakes out, because we're going to be looking to a seal, but realistically, overall, I think all the Bills players have kind of shown that as a unit, they're more cohesive. They'll play a little stronger together. Maybe Challenger points out all the time, they are really good at trading each other. They will play together, trade each other, and make sure that, any kind of 50-50 fight does end in their favor, just because of their spacing and all their mechanics kind of combining. So that's something you will want to look out for, especially as we're going to have to see how maybe if they can figure out how to shut down Jason. Maybe I was told by Raymer that he had to prepare a bunch of maps and get it ready for a best of 3 by 8:30, and that was hopefully his prep will pay off. And something I'm gonna look for right now is while we're still in the warm up here, waiting for the players to join, we can do a skin review of the Overtake players. Sacrifice, got the Ultra Violence with the Butterfly Gamma Doppler. Doesn't do it for me, honestly. But also, look, call me Onipixel, but the Butterfly Ultra Violence are not my thing. I kind of don't like how the yellow kind of, like, I think the yellow onto the pink kind of does it for me, or does it in for me. I'd be fine if it didn't have the yellow. Let's see what the Lear C got nothing, bro. He's at a Karambit Tiger Tooth with default gloves. Very normal, very default setup, very classic setup. Love me some classic from it. Jason here, the man of rocking the Amphibious is with the butterfly knife, but we don't have enough more time to look at the skins, because that's dirty skin content, as we are now in the match here. This is going to be the Bills' toughest match yet, facing against Team Overtake, consisting of Intra, Lumar, Jason, Learcy, and Sacrifice. But Bills are bringing on a strong lineup of Nick, Manil, Galaxy, Coat, who's named Sevalod, don't worry about them, and a Seal. And the knife round is already bloody. Nick and Sevalod, Coat, and Galaxy. Oh, it's a massacre by Overtake. They completely destroy the Bills on the knife round. So very likely to head to the CT side here for Overtake. I'm going to call Coat V7 like so many times in this match, so apologies in advance. But whenever I say V7, that is simply Coat. And we're into the Dust 2 pistol round. So if I was an IGL for the Bills here, I'm seeing the spawn, and it looks kind of like a B spawn. But that's something that their tendency, maybe it will be different. So, well, let's see. And it's going to be 2 pairs of dualies for Overtake, so I think that they're going to do a classic send Jason and Intra to take this tunnel space for themselves. The dually crossfire is kind of a strat I've been seeing a lot, and that's going to be something that a builder Revival Seal might be walking into it with his buddy Coat, and it's going to be something that we're going to look out for. But Nick here playing top mid, he's ready for any kind of push, but the builder a little bit spread out. But Lumar could get himself killed if he doesn't get the first frag here immediately. And Jason on the duel, he's going to see Lumar immediately gets dinked, but it's going to be immediate shutdown by a Seal. So not finding the early pick is a Seal, and a Seal got another kill. Coat following up with another one. Learsy will finally shut down a Seal, but the damage might already been done. There are only 2 players left towards the A site, and Galaxy or Coat's going to be on the A site. At least calling it clear, but it doesn't matter. Manil's going to take out Learsy anyway and sacrifice alone in mid towards the Xbox position. Is gonna, I think the spot is known, but Nick will get this bomb down, and we're into a 1-on-4 clutch sacrifice. We'll have to see if he's willing to sacrifice himself for a chance to win. It might not be. He is currently dueling a player in mid. He saw the player. He saw Coat doing him back, and he's dropped on the ground, and he's swapped to another gun. And it's gonna be Coat going down to sacrifice. He's gonna get to CT here, but he might get ambushed by Manil. Has a quick swap to the USP here, and he gets another kill going out, but Nick shuts that down, stops that from getting any out of hand. I don't think it had a chance anyway, but sacrifice making it look a little dicey for the Bills. Maybe a lot not as clean as I would have liked, but doesn't matter. You won the pistol. That does it in for Overtake, and they will be forced to save here, but they're feeling a bit confident. They're buying Deegs into this round. Bills maybe feeling a little unconfident themselves. They're buying the rifles, so they want to make sure they have the best weaponry possible against these pistols, and they have a 4-long setup. So Bills going for a early scout here with Galaxy with the MAC-10. He's gonna find himself nothing at the moment because he's got to worry about all these players that are camping it out a bit. But a Seal's gonna swing up towards car. He will get the spot onto a sacrifice. We'll take a little bit of damage. That Molly of Lumar is going to push him out, but he actually dodges the Molly. It doesn't matter. Manil to finish him off. I hate how I get fully flashed in spectator mode. Valve, please fix. But Nick here lining up an interesting cross smoke, but the cross smoke has already been deployed. The Seal's already gone so far up. He's backed up by Coat, and these two, oh no, that's Galaxy. He's got some entry first with the MAC-10, taking advantage of the better weaponry running gun, but a Seal is the one who's taking all the glory. Coat with him on the flank as well. Sacrifice will take him out, so Sacrifice showing off that he might be the Pistolero demon early on, as he has gotten all 3 of his kills, 75% of overtakes with just a pistol. But that was the eco round. Now comes the real test of Overtake. They are buying the rifles here. Learsy down to a FAMAS. Meanwhile, Bills are going for a bonus here. They sold mostly Galils and a MAC-10. Steel has upgraded into an AK-47, as now it's going to be, now it looks like another bit of a long take here. Overtake are ready for this. They're putting a 3-long. That flash is so annoying to watch, but Emil will take the first kill. Intra on the trade, and it's going to be him pushing the advantage that he gained, and that's going to be the Bills 1-for-1ing on long here. Not the end of the world for either team, but 4v4s tend to favor the T side, because now the Overtake has to worry about the gaps that have left on the additional positions. And what is this? Intra is playing so close to that smoke. He's pushing through the smoke, especially as Bills leave, so he's got so much advanced position here. And he's got a flank that's live for just a little bit because the Bills are kind of slowing down in mid here. But they're going to be a cap maybe faster than Intra's ready for. And it's going to be something you have to look out for. Coat's worried about tunnels, but oh, he actually spots the player. So now the flank is known about. Nick is setting up himself to trade it if needed. But that's going to be Intra falling all the way back. So I don't know if Bills can hear that from Cat, but that's going to be the position gained by Bills here. And Galaxy's setting up these smokes. There are 3 players here. And it looks like they're going to throw just the standard cat smoke. That mid to B smoke is going to draw Jason a little bit away. But it's on sacrifice. We'll have to see if he can use more than just a pistol. And he's more than a pistol. He will. He's taking out Nick through the smoke. But Seals drop down into CT. I don't know if he's going to know, but Jason susses him out in the smoke. And that's going to be a cat take shut down by Overtake. And now Learsy on this FAMAS position will get the better of Coat. And now it is simply Galaxy on a 1v4. He's got the AK, but not much else. He's dry, immediately take out Jason, but he's down to low HP. And that nade is going to take him out. He turns out it was a flash, and it will be Overtake getting the first gun round of the game. But, oh, you see Builder immediately taking the timeout. I think, is that attack? Or, no, that's attack. That's a tech timeout, I think. I don't know. Wait. Okay, I can't see what's in the chat, but that was a tech timeout, I believe. I don't know why it says 4 out of 3 remaining. Let me go check my HUD just to make sure that's not broken. One moment, please. Nope. Okay, so I think it is a tech timeout. So it is a tech timeout taken by the Bills here, but you can see the timer is going away. Well, this might be a real tech, a real tech. Maybe Arrow, if you're in the chat, do you allow more than 3 tech timeouts in your league? Because that's something I'll have to keep in mind for the HUD later if that's the case. But whatever timeout it is expiring, and we are going to go into the real freeze time. So Bills had a chance to talk it over. A Seal buys down to a Scout. It is a force up by the Bills here, or maybe not. There's a bit of refunding going on, but it looks like at least a Seal seems to be the hero Scout. Going to help soften them up for these Deegs, and it will be a full Deeg round actually instead. So you can see 4 Deegs and a Pew 50. That sounds like a band here, and we're going to see some aggressive long takes. So this is like the third or fourth time this is like the third time no, this is the second time they've done very aggressive long play by Overtake. They want to make sure that Bills do not get this for free at all. And you can see they're going to just take the space and walk back. A Seal has filled the space in long here, but now it's going to be the mid to beast, or that's going to be just a door smoke coming out here. So Lumar's going to have to be a little bit careful of his position in mid. And now the Bills have mid control once again. They've earned it. A second smoke in long to keep a Seal at bay, but these Deegs have crept up Cat, and they are going to go towards the A site. And it looks like up Cat they will be. That is Nick and Manil taking some space here. And Coat is in mid here. This player's about to cross. Well, actually, no, they're not. Overtake's giving them nothing here. They want Bills to they want Bills to make the first move here, and make the first move they might. Jason gonna continuing watching for a door lurk down that hasn't come quite yet, and you can see the bomb is finally gonna pick up in spawn by a Seal. He's getting up on long, and it looks like they're gonna go towards B. No more util has been deployed by the Bills. It is going to be, oh my god, they're clearing everything. But right now, Learcy on this jiggle peak, he has a molly, or he's a smoke ready, so, and he will deploy early, and that's gonna be time. That's gonna make time a weapon here for Overtake. Is now the Bills only have 20 seconds, and with Jason coming in to fill, this Bills play might be over before it even began. And it looks like they're gonna flash themselves out, go out here, and Learcy with the eco frag, the 4K, and the 8 is almost taking the middle on the side of the map. Will go to an intra, so no way for him to get the ace. But a nice 4K on the eco round. So Overtake tie us up at just as Bills get the buyback. So this is going to determine whether they get to buy, or whether this will determine who holds momentum going forward. They have tied. Overtake has kind of grabbed the momentum, but now it's going to be on Bills to see if they can overtake the tie that Bills have reached. Galaxy gonna watch the cross, but it is naded by I think Jason. So that was very, very well done. And they're once again very aggressive long play. These flashes are layered perfectly, but with no initial aggression. That's nade into long. Dirty, and what Galaxy? Oh my god, that is dirty by Jason, almost taking Galaxy out through the smoke. That is ridiculous, and that's gonna put Galaxy on watch alert for the rest of this round, as it looks like a Still gets boosted up into long, but right now he's just gonna lurk there. It is gonna be him versus Intra on long for the moment, but Coat will walk up Cat, and they're gonna play this kind of trickily, slow and steady. So maybe not seeing that same aggression that we sort of would see them sometimes go for, but that was also fleeting in some aspects. Nick here on Cat is gonna get joined by the rest of the team. He has the bomb, and they're just playing this mid very slow. They want to they have to be careful though, because the reason they lost the last round is because of a smoke that kind of screwed them, and Overtake are loaded with utility. But I think there's going to be some kind of mid play coming out of the Bills here. You can see that smoke block is going to be kind of backbreaking. It will not extinguish until about 10 seconds left in the round. And Sacrifice has a nade in hand. That is a flash. And Learcy deploying the B. Tunnel smoke again. And they are out into mid past the smoke. And they're going to worry these two B players are going to fight for their lives here. Coke gets 1 kill, but Lumar blowing up in a smoke will get 1 back, but now both players are officially dead, but with 10 seconds left, they gotta get the bomb onto the site. That is a steal running through the door, and with just 10 seconds left, they might barely get it down in time. The overtake is fast on the retake, and they are in. This is Intro running right through the door, getting immediately his head taken off by Manil, and that is a bit of an aggressive play. None of his teams get traded. Now up to Lumar, Sacrifice this now, and Sacrifice killing himself through the door, and Lumar fighting his best. Manil gets a 1 kill, but unfortunately Sacrifice to trade, and it's a very fast retake off of some very nice well-played util by the Bills, or by the Overtake, not quite able to expend as much util as Overtake were able to fight back. But that was a very close round. Overtake's money not quite going to be unnoticed. They've won 3 in a row. Their money, I guess their money is unnoticed now. It's CT economy, guys. Am I right? But it will be the Bills having to find another solution. This is not great money round for them. Their loss bonus has not quite matured yet. As they're gonna go right back to the Deeks here. Sacrifice throwing the smoke that lands in long doors. That's your that you can use that one in your face-it matches. Just take, take the clip, screenshot that. But the Bills setting a bunch of Deeks up in long doors here, which Overtake have conveniently given up. And this is an advantage. This is a situation they might be able to take advantage of. They were flashed out, finding this thing empty. Counter flash is going to slow them a little bit, but they're going to realize long is clear, but not as clear as they would like. There are 3 players on this A site who are ready to receive this play, and that block smoke is going to work, and that is a blinding me. And Asil gets to worry about this Opper, but Lumar is unfortunately a little too quick on the trigger, and that nade is going to bounce back. Intra not quite doing. He kills Vanille to half through the smoke. That's kind of dirty, but Intra gets tagged in the boots as a as punishment. But therefore, with this car player, that is Sacrifice. So he's in a pretty good position if the Bills don't check it. And it's going to be Galaxy dueling Lumar on the op. So Deke versus op. But this car player, his position has been kind of considered, I think. But unfortunately, with a collab by Lumar, it doesn't quite matter. And some kills go back on the Bills, but that is a systematic clearing of long. And a nice collab by Lumar. 3 in the round. So the op of Lumar kind of ruling over Dust 2. And funnily enough, despite Jason not having a bit of a slower start, he's only 3 and 4. The rest of his team seems to be picking it up. Meanwhile, on the Bills, Manil is the gamer of the night for them, as he is 7 and 5, the only one who's positive right now. But the Bills are back into the gun round. They have all the guns they want and a lot of util, but so do Overtake. They are fighting for this long like they have been time and time again. And it is this play towards lower with the op on Galaxy. Normally he does this on the CT side, but looks like you're going to give it a counter boost on a cat here. So very interested to see how this works out. And still ready to watch him return. And you can see Lumar kind of creeping down with the op, so maybe he might get a little bit of a frisky on his own, but he is currently holding for this walk up by Nick, so he's got a dirty angle, and Nick didn't even see him on his screen on the shoulder taken out. He is gone, so another opening goes the way of Overtake. And the Bills looking like they are not in control of the game at the moment. The opper of Lumar kind of ruling over them. He's going back for more, and he's going to be also killing one coat. So that opera on Cat is proving to be the bane of Bill's existence. Galaxy not even close to attempt his own trade. And Learcy here, this is an interesting one. Manil is waiting for this push through, but Learcy is waiting for his push through as well. So they're kind of playing this little bit of game of chicken to see who breaks first at the moment. And it looks like neither of them are going to do anything. Coat is Manil's walking away. As now it looks like Galaxy and Asil are trying to get things done in mid. He has picked up the bomb, and we'll have to see, is he going to walk right into the play? But it is currently Intra on the lurk. He's going to get both players here potentially, and it's going to be in 20 seconds left in the round. It is just Manil. He will take out Jason, and he will take out Intra, so he's already got a clutch started, but he has to get all 5 if he wants to win the round, and it's too much for him. A fortune swap to the bomb will make him look a bit foolish as he is caught in the crossfire. So another decisive round won by Overtake. And you can see a bit of a desperate buy coming out. Nick goes up on the Mac 10. And so does Asil. It is a Mac 10 buy, so maybe a bit of a B-rush here. I saw the spawn look like a little bit of favor, so it's going to kind of be on Jason and Learcy. That's a missed flash and this utility is gonna get blocked a little bit. Smoke is out, and they are out, but Jason gets the first kill, and it's gonna be Nick runs down, leaving on the site, and it is just Jason. I can't see, he dies. I'm so blind, just like these players on the site, and not to worry with these window plays. Manil's gonna try and get the bomb down, but they're gonna try and force the window play right now. Nick and trade deaths, and Manil kicked down. It's actually immediately all in favor of the Bills. Just sacrifice left, and he will take out a seal to start. We'll to see if he can clutch it up, but he has only 40 HP left versus two very healthy Bills player. Galaxy's on the Mac 10, and Manil is on an M4 playing this close angle they might not be ready for, so he's gonna get spotted, and it is with an assist from a seal that Manil finally gets around back. Overtake winning 5 in a row on that CT side. A very fast and decisive round of the Bills there. That was a bit chaotic, but the Bills thriving in the chaos, playing their trades and ensuring that Overtake do not get back into that site. And once again, it is Manil who is staggering 11 kills, and this is going to be maybe give Overtake a little bit of pause. They're changing the strategy up. They're sending Jason up mid, and Galaxy will be ready for it. He's moving ready for the player peeking from Cat, but it's going to be a bit of a play for Jason is going to get caught coach here, and he's not going to be able to get out. Manil with the trade, and it's just Lumar on Cat who's going to run away low HP. So it was a pretty aggressive move by Overtake to try and shut down the momentum that Bills are trying to get. Intra here is going to play with fire, playing down these swords, and it's going to be really stamped down by a seal with a helpful flash from Nick. And now the two players in mid are not going to be in quite the best position to take this back. Lumar's running for CD, but his spot's going to be heard, and I think he's going to get mollied away because he is very low, not able to take the spot. And this is going to be the run-in, and oh my god, Galaxy surprise loses the Cat already, and he will get the kill back, not before damage. He was a very low HP, so a bit of a chaotic round here, but off of the back of some very nice entries on the Bills, it's putting Lumar in a very dangerous position. It is game time for him, because look, the money on the CTs. Never mind, he's playing for the exits, and he's going to take out Nick, and is he going to go for more? There's no way he goes for more, and he will not. It's kind of a very greedy play. I would just save the op. I would have taken my one and gotten out of there. But that is a 3K by a seal, and Manil with another one, and the nice offshot by Galaxy will allow Bills to bring this back to within one. Overtake their lead, looking not quite so impressive now, especially given that they are on the blow-by. There's a scout with the pistols, so we'll have to see. And it looks like they're going to take some aggressive lower space here. Jason with this play, he's going to try and block this door smoke. And actually get a nice tag on a Galaxy. Seal going to get that smoke is going to be ahead of him. And he will get a nice from an intro, but Jason with the headshot through the smoke, that is kind of nutso. But now you can see this is Overtake's plan. They took lower early so they could do this rotate. Long is going to be a bit of contention here, especially because Manil is watching this smoke play, will take out Jason on trying to be cheeky there. And Lumar's going to run out here and not get killed by Galaxy, but he's going to run away into 3 players. Nick helping him out, and it's going to be Nick. It's going to be not going to be running the player on Blue Bit, but it will be a pistol versus an AK. So you can see Sacrifice is going to get his scout out, and he's going to be running all the way to spawn. So nice play by the Bills. They kind of sensed a bit of the weakness in the eco round, and they clamped on it. No indecision at all. And one kill through the smoke by Jason is all this team is going to get, as Sacrifice can't even save the gun drop. It's going to be him with a scout in spawn with nothing. So just want to give a bit of a summary of what's happened so far. So as quickly as Bills won the pistol and the conversion, Overtake kind of went on a 5-round tear, but now Bills have brought us right back to equilibrium in the rounds here. So given the money on Overtake, if they lose this round with all 5 dead, and oh, that's not a good start for Galaxy, getting poked in the back by Nick, I think. But it's going to be a B rush, and Galaxy with the entry on the op, and it is going to be a easier round for, maybe a bit of an easier round for Bills than they want, but Galaxy low health doesn't even matter. Bull's taken out. Jason gonna get overwhelmed, and the B players are immediately down. So uncharacteristic whiffs coming out of Overtake, I think. I don't know. The stats say that wouldn't normally happen. And Intra here, maybe going for a bit of a hero play. He's gonna get naded a little bit. He will eat to go down to 95 HP. And that double volley on window is gonna tell him that is not the spot I should be pushing. And the Bills immediately establish a 5v3 retake on the B bomb site of Dust 2. But Intra here, he's hunting. He wants this play, and he will immediately get taken out by Galaxy. And it's going to be Lumar and Sacrifice, realizing just how bad the economy is, they're going to save the scopes for the next round, which is the last round of the half. So once again, Bills with the good entries here, shutting down the goals. And it didn't even matter that Galaxy got knifed by Nick early in the round. It is a all too clean 2K for him with the ops. Normally you only get one shot anyway, so maybe worked out. Maybe it was a good luck. Maybe it was a good luck pat on the back by Nick there, making sure that his opper is ready and armed and ready. So to no point, I mean, he was 14-6. I think he is like he is instrumental in keeping Bills alive in some of these rounds. You can see that in the chat, we got some of the Manil fan club out here, always showing out in force. Love to see them in this match tonight, especially because it looks like we're going for a long play. You see, Overtake have decided that enough is enough. We're going to finally put some people along here, but they are also deciding that tunnels is enough. They've put 3 players in tunnels, and with this early info, they might actually be able to get an early rotate off in favor of this A's play here. And you can see Intro with his MP9 is going to go towards lower, and Sacrifice caught in the open, but a steal will take him out, and this molly towards Car is going to get Lumar off of the position as well, but unfortunately doesn't fully get him off, and this is going to be a bit of a tough round. They do lose the entry, but Galaxy in mid here is going to be ready for maybe some of these plays, but it's all on whether they're going to be expecting this lower tons play, and Lumar is going to catch the better of Manil, so the long players once again kind of showing the dominance, and Coat might avoid this. I don't think he's going to check for Intra, and he will, but not before being traded by Learcy. So as quickly as he gets one, the other one goes in his favor, and Lumar here watching literally nothing. It's all on Nick. He's going to get smoked off here, and he's going to just walk through this right into the MP9, maybe a bit too overzealous, and we end the round, we end the half tied. So a bit back and forth at half, it was a half of streaks, so Bills got 2, Overtake got 5, Bills got 4, and then Overtake snatched the last one at the end there. So this is all on the CT side now. This is all on to see whether the players of the Bills have prepped for whatever Overtake are going to do. You can see one pair of dualies on Galaxy and some util spread around, but it looks like Overtake here are going for this long play, but Bills are going all the way up mid, so this is actually a very aggressive play that might catch, it's going to catch one player off, Learcy knowing it's going to get out of dodge, but Coat's going to hear this play up long, and he will be here to meet them. Let's see if the Glock does the work, and the Glock will do the work, taking him out immediately, and it's going to be Nick who's going to fight a bit for his life here. He will take out Intra, so he does get the trade, and right now it's a bit of a retake on the split here, and Jason is messing them up with his thing, and Asil going to get out. He's not going to even clear pit. Learcy will take him out, and this is going to be a tough one. The Bills have lost their flank, and they are going to only attack from one spot now. Lumar going to walk up, and Galaxy with the dualies here is a bit of a unknown quantity, and he will open it up a little bit, but he will take a hit by Jason. Manil gets one back, and it's going to be 3 players that Nick and Manil have to pick apart here if they want any chance of winning this retake, and not a great start, and Jason will finish it off. So Jason opening us up with a 2K. Let's see people in chat. That's some smack talk. Steel saying go watch anime, and Intro going lost dog. Ooh, Intro going bots, calling them bots, dude. Oh, ooh, there's some feistiness going on here. And I didn't know there was much. I didn't know the SmackDown going on. I thought people were just talking about like NS or like nice try guys, but there's some SmackDown going on. Galaxy with the 5-7. You have to worry about this player. He does spot him, I think. Who did he swing into? Swing into an AK, and he's gone. He knows he's gotten the info, and he can leave. But right now, still in the most precarious position. You have a peek from lower maybe, but he's holding his deke nicely. But Galaxy's retreat has conceded long to the Overtake, and Basil, good response, 2 kills. Sacrifice and Jason are down, but the rest of the players are towards long. As guns are retrieved, their Bills are not quite in the position to take this, but Coach here with this very long angle, and it's going to be a bit of a shots going through the smoke, but the bomb will go down, and Overtake do maintain their advanced weaponry, but they have to worry about all these players coming in. Asil continuing the reign of terror will get a 3rd, but Galaxy on the 2nd will not. But Manil getting another kill. And the last player is towards ramp, and he really spotted ramp, and it's going to be just Manil. But now it is just Nick left, and his interest position is known. The bomb is about to be halfway gone, and Nick here is going to. Oh, does he make noise? He doesn't make noise. And he's gonna might get the jump on, but unfortunately he jumped a little too early, and a lot of Bulls going wild, and it's gonna be Incher getting dinked here, and Nick gonna have to get the better of it, but does he have time? Does he have a kit? He does not have a kit, so this might be the round given up, and he misfunctions back the bomb, and that was a crucial mistake, and unfortunately Nick does win the 1v1, but he will not win the round as the bomb goes off and Nick goes down. Not all is over though, because Bill's getting all the kills there means that Overtake are gonna have to reinvest everything into this round. And that was a bit of an eco out of the Bills, so they're gonna be set up nicely if they force into this. And you can see Galaxy knows that too. He's bought the MP9, and the rest of the Bills are gonna force up a bit around him. And it's gonna be a bit of an interesting one because now if Overtake lose this round, they will be on the eco. But this huge emphasis on long here is going to probably show that it is not quite the right play of the Bills to go for the lower position. But Manil, so much good info, is going to send the rest of the Bills to mid in the A site, and that cross smoke is going to a little bit of signals. Oh, still be careful. You do not want to get spammed through the smoke by the AK-47 of Lumar there. It looks like I'm going to deploy the long cross utility, and it's going to be a bit of a interesting one. The Bills have kind of rotated around. They're going to take this position. They're Steel's going to realize that mid is clear, but it is on Nick and Galaxy with the 2 MP9s in this round to kind of keep this going. That's a nice molly that's going to slow him down a little bit, but oh, Sacrifice attacking the smoke a little bit. That means that Galaxy made the first kill before we trade by Sacrifice, and it's going to be, this play's going to be a little bit more precarious than they might have wished. And some deeks coming out from the CT spawn to keep Lumar honest here, and some deeks from Cat going to keep them honest here. Nick's at a great spot here, and he will try and catch up Lumar, but Lumar is now brought very low, and Incher will get another one. And unfortunately for Bills, the guns will prevail. It is a seal with a deek. He'd have to go massive here, and maybe he won't quite as Sacrifice. We'll take him out. So we'll take Incher out on the way. But unfortunately for the Bills, I want to see the smack talk. What's going on? Ooh, a seal. Ooh, they're sending the messages together. That is some prime smack talk. Incher saying, "Bot uninstall. You lost." Or you're lost, so there's some beef going on. I don't know what's going on. This is exciting. Because you know, if you say smack talk, you gotta be ready for the consequences if you eventually lose. And it looks like Overtake are trying their best to make that not happen. But the guns are out for the Bills here. A seal up Cat early. And that nade is gonna be well timed. Do a little bit of damage to Sacrifice, bringing down to 69 health. Nice. As the rest of Overtake are going to play towards this top mid position here. Aiming for a boost. I don't know how Bills would have boosted that without him noting, but you know, fair enough. Fair on him for being thorough. As it looks like Overtake is going to take Cat here. They don't have the bomb with them. The bomb is still top mid. But a seal and Galaxy have to worry. This op is in the best spot to deal with this, but right now the smokes are going to go out, and that's going to be a nice little, maybe going to be a fake here. You can see that Bill's not quite reacting to it, because immediately on the other side of that, they can time for the large smoke, so that's going to be Coat and Nick not moving, but they're coming out mid here, so this is actually a B split, and that back B smoke is going to be a little bit tricky. Nick can catch the first person and the second, and it's going to be Coat fighting for his life, but now Nick's fighting for his life, and he will get the third kill, and a seal on the assist, and Nick alone in the USP will finally go down to Learsey in a 1v3 must win, and you can see Learsey trying to take the early fight against a seal, but it is not enough, and that was a clever fake, but shut down by Nick with a 3K. That's going in the highlight reel, I think. Well done. And you can see now, that's kind of the Bills, some of the Bills are waking up. You can see Nick's up to 10. A seal is now matching his brother on the kills department, and it is going to be a very interesting one. And, you know, maybe some Overtake has slowed down a bit, and there's a little bit of confusion around here in the buys, but they do get all the guns out. Jason is going to get mollied, and he's going to take Manil out, so fortunately another pick goes the way of the Overtake here. And they're going to condense it back and spawn and let Bills overthink this. And it's gonna be maybe they head towards mid. Lumar throwing that flash. This is a very important round here because right now Bill's economy is not great. And with the double smokes, maybe Overtake won't have a great economy either. So if you look, actually both teams don't have great economy. So this is going to be a tough one coming in for the Bills, but whoever wins this will probably get the next one, given how the economy has worked. And look at Nick's position; he's going to go into lower, and I think he's gonna. They saw him, and he's going to get explained by a lot of it. He's got to run and get out of there. That nade's going to do not that much damage he would have liked, but he is currently trapped in the excellent position. That's going to send them up towards the ace site here. None of the Bills are in position to deny this. The bomb is going to go down, planted for Cats, and Nick has advanced on his position. He's going to get flashed into this, but with the op chase him while blind, we'll take him out. So that's going to be an unfortunate start to this retake, and the Bills might not even go for it. They don't have the money to justify this in my head. And with them being out of position, this is going to be a tough cookie for them to crack, especially with all the position that Sacrifice have hold here. And this double play on long, that flash is going to go way too close. And Ko is going to get the double. Get the pistol. And Ko actually holds up with the double here, but unfortunately the bomb is too far gone. But it might just do the job of keeping Overtake on this site to go down. And you can see Learcy's going to run, try and get this play. He gets led by the op. And it's going to be a... oh, what is that? 2 kills go the way of Build at the last second there. And it's going to be very low HP left on the Overtake players. But no one can get the final kill on the Bills. Just Galaxy gets the op out. So some very decisive rounds here from Overtake. And not quite enough individual heroics out of Bills quite at the moment. And Bills are going to take a tactical timeout. So they have some time to talk this over. They know how bad the money is, and they're very likely, if they do not win this round, to not quite have a good sit in the rest of the game. I want to see what the latest smack talk is. Oh, no, just tech issues. Okay. So far, this game's been kind of electric so far. It's kind of interesting so far. I'm really curious to see what's going on here, as it looks like... oops. I want to see what the issue is. Looks like we have a mic issue on Lumar. Is his name Umar or Lumar? Because he has one, so I thought it was like an L, and you pronounce it Lumar, but I don't know, man. People have weird names on this. People have weird names on the Counter-Strike 2 moments. And then you just have Jason. Like that's just his name. I'm pretty sure if Jason's name is not Jason, that would be kind of funny. But the Bills do use a tack timeout. You talk it over. This is the round they're going to buy. Because I think if they lose this round and save, they will be able to fight for overtime if, they lose this round. But you can see Overtake are going to use a timeout of their own here. So, still very interesting swing around here. So despite the amount of rounds that Overtake have been winning, their money is still not so great. You can see they're not doing too much better than the Bills here. So realistically, we are one good Bills round away from this game going right back into anyone's favor at the moment. But you can see, I think right now it looks like some underperformances out of Galaxy and Coat. They need to sort of step it up a little bit going into this round, because right now Overtake's looking like the ones who are playing as a team. But something that we know is that the Bills, they do have what it takes to bounce back a bit here. And especially, like I said, this is in fact the #1 team in Open. So the fact they're playing that's looking this good is good signs for the upcoming playoffs matches. And just gonna plug it here, the upcoming Frag Tap event this weekend. Be sure to, I don't know if their games are gonna get streamed or how often, but be sure to catch them at Frag Tap this weekend. Also, my buddy Aiden, kick.com/Cast Club, will be casting there too. So it's something that all sorts of excitement this weekend, and I'll be there too. Just not really like involved. I'm there just to make sure the players are having a good time, and they play the best they can in the moments here. But it looks like we're gonna start off with a lot of long aggression here, and the Bills have a very interesting setup. They put 2 lower, 2 cats, so any kind of mid play out of Overtake might have been shut down, but we won't know, as they have taken long very decisively, and all this util is going to give Bill some indication of what's going on here. You can see Coat is kind of turning to play the site. That was a missed car molly. That's something you don't want to. That's not #1 team in main material right there. But you can see as pushing Cat, Anil trying to get a lurk, but Learcy was all too aware of it. So that's gonna then readjust this Overtake play here. They're leaving long, leaving Lumar to lurk with the op here. And what is it? Intra, that's Jason on the other side map. His B-lurk position. He might catch Nick off if Nick isn't careful. He's walking off, and it will be the walk away. And I think this is going to be Overtake realizing that the B site has been completely left open. That one smoke from Lumar is going to keep most of the Bills here. But if Jason loses out on this lurk in mid here, this might give the play away maybe earlier than they're intending, but he's actually holding for the rotates. So right now, that molly towards the B site, that's going to tell Bills what's going on here. And Jason knows one's lower. He also knows one's CT. So he's got a perfect position here, and he will not be checked. Coat goes down, and Intra ready for the lower play, taking out Nick. So, and Lumar taking out a seal on a rotate away, and this is going to be Galaxy left alone with the op here. And he is trapped behind a CT smoke. So, being hunted down by Overtake. They are mauling and nading his position away. Learcy is going to try and like fight him away, but he is going to be hunted down. Players are on cat. They are ready for this play. They're run boosting. What is going on? You look at the first kill on the save, but very unlikely to get the next one. He's going to smoke himself off, but he's going to be run down, and he will be absolutely hunted. So Overtake pulling off a fake, and that pulled all the Bills towards the A site. So they just kind of got faked down right there. So that's something that is unfortunate. And you can see all the Bills players going down. That was a bad, unfortunate moment for them, because now they have basically nothing to fight against match point. They might, given their boss bonus, they will have something to fight for in the next round, but not for this round. Sakurai's going to run out and immediately get his head taken off by Manil. So Manil winning that side of the duel now, and now Bills have lower, or Bills have all tunnels. So now there's great info, and Coke being one of his own. So that is two players going down to the Deegs immediately, and now they're being routed right back to Manil, who will flash himself out, but will get good for another. He's not good for another, but now he knows they're all here. He is fighting with fire on that rig. He's killed. How's he get a second one? What's going on? Jason finally shuts him down, but now it is Jason alone versus four. Now Galaxy knows his position. He's just toying with them, and then Galaxy's already hit him, throwing him through the thing. Oh my god! I don't know what you just said. I'm going to hit allow on that. I don't know why that Automod blocked you there, but what is it? Don't what's your name? Tyorix 3K? Look, don't say bad about Raymer's name. But right now, Jason's not trying not to say bad about his name, but Nick with the D finishing it off, and that starts with Manil's insane D3K. I don't know how he gets the 2 there. That's kind of criminal if you think about it. So that's going to be a round stolen by Bills. Unfortunately for them, Overtake does have the money to rebuy, but now their money is low, but so is Bills. We're once again in the position where if Bills lose this round with all players dying, it is going to be match point with nothing. And it is going to be Overtake who are trying to play in for this, and that's going to be a player spotted in mid. I don't know who that's Manil, who does fall away off of that, but Jason, he's going to run right past this molly. And it's oh, server lag. Well, no, we're back. That was a good flash thrown by someone. And they're just running up onto A site. They're here so fast. A seal's good for one, but not the next one. And Sacrifice taking on the Neil as well. And Jason is taking matters of his own, and that's a 3K. And now bomb goes down in favor of Overtake, and now Nick's got no teammates left. I'm trying to. A lot of records, just like a side note on the Learcy here, but Nick goes down, and that was a round that the Bills are not gonna feel great about, because they kind of just got run down on long here, and to put this in a match point scenario, Nick has an op given to Galaxy, but that is it. That is the only real code, and M4 too, but that is gonna be a double offset of Galaxy and a seal whipping out the big greens. We're gonna have to see if the ops are what they need to get there. Overtake have none of their own, and you can see they're doing this play that I like to use a lot. They're gonna go lower, but they're going for long again. It is Overtake who are just trying to end this with a fast long play, leaving just Manil alone on the A site. They have mid. Bills have mid, but they don't have a hold onto A site. That nade is not gonna do anything to slow them down, but the Bills have rotated to a position to hold this, and the map has been made very small, especially Manil on the opener. A lot of util goes out of a lot of Lumar, and Lumar will take one out through the smoke, and it's going to be a play that is on Cat, going to almost kill Galaxy with this. Molly's going to hit him for a little bit here, but you have to say there's not enough position on the Bills here. Anything done, there's a kill on the flank, so I don't know what's going on anymore, but right now the bomb is not going to get down. Coke gets the early kill, and he will get away. Oh, the HUD just messed up. All right, we're doing a little bit of manual observing here. So it looks like we have a play. The bomb does go down here. What is this play? Oh, he's gonna walk out, not able to get the kill onto Long here. Down to worry about all angles, and it is just him alone, and he gets taken out by Sacrifice. So Bills put up a valiant fight, but unfortunately not quite enough, as they do go down to Overtake on Dust 2. So they don't, and unfortunately it falls a bit too much to the wayside. Not quite able to do it. A couple of very, very decisive long takes. Bills prepping for mid takes that never came. So potentially Overtake mixing it up a little bit. But now we go on to the tiebreaker. Let's see what's going on. What was it? FC Detonate versus. Oh, okay. So I think Bills might not be playing another game today. Okay, yeah. So. Okay, yeah, because FC Detonate Villains isn't happening until tomorrow, so the Bills realistically aren't playing their next game until Friday. Okay, so that was very much what we could have seen on the match, or the night when they were supposed to play. Bills not quite able to get it done in the moment, and Overtake, just like I said, Overtake just getting the better of them. So unfortunate for the Bills. Showing that, this was also probably one of their toughest matches yet. And Jason, at the moment, they're coming alive in some of these long takes. Not quite able to be resisted by the Bills. But that was also kind of... they take long all around. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a gap that I think... Bills were hoping that wouldn't be exploited. You can see they were going for a lot of mid setups. Early in the round, maybe trying to maybe Overtake had shown a lot of mid presence from Dust 2, and maybe maybe they're probably worried about Jason, because we saw Jason very often was the one who would be lurking through. Jason was the one who would lurk through lower, so maybe trying to catch him off. So all around losing in long, and still Bills do long. Yeah, it's just something that counteracts a mental game. One round Manil. Yeah. So yeah, Manil did have some nice moments there. He did have that eco 3K along with the Deagle. Unfortunately, like you said, they weren't quite able to maybe adapt in time. Maybe they were overthinking the strats a little bit. They had 2 timeouts left, so you could say maybe they should have stopped to use maybe another one just to really figure it out. Maybe they over prepped, because sometimes. You kind of just be like, all right, well, yeah, we're just going to go play long, and we'll go long. Kind of how Dust 2 goes down sometimes. But yeah, I can confirm, because Villainous and FC Detonate aren't playing until tomorrow night, it means that Bills will have another chance to get back. They are in the lower bracket of... This is so funny that they made a whole group just for the tiebreakers, or a whole extra turn for the tiebreakers, but it's going to be Bills in the lower brackets are going to be scheduled for Friday night at 9 p.m. EST, but before that, they will be playing at Frag Tap, which, let me just check some details here. Frag Tap Reloaded 2026. So, where's the page for this? Okay, well, we won't talk about that one, but basically, that was the game for the night. Like we said, unfortunately, Bill's not able to pull it out against the number 1 team in Maine. It will be some good practice going into this LAN tournament, though, at Frag Tap. It's something that will be something that they'll hopefully feel better going into. They will be playing in playoffs of Maine tomorrow night as well before, so we'll have to. I unfortunately won't be able to stream it because I'll be with them, sort of cheering them on from the sidelines. But maybe we'll get some vlog footage of the stuff. But just want to say thank you all for joining. I know maybe not quite the results some of you are here for, Shaki-sen. I feel your disappointment. I truly do. But it's something you live and you learn from. Something that we'll see. There's plenty of more Counter-Strike to be played. This is not This is the game where that should be like that. So, like I said, tomorrow night, Bill's playing their ESTA playoffs, and then they'll be at Frag Tap. So be sure to check out the Frag Tap stream and look out for my friend Aiden, kick.com/LRCastClub, and you know, support everything. You know, I'm not good at this like YouTube or Twitch pleasantries, but good on everyone for, you know, coming. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate all of you, and I will see all of you later. Thank you all, or that's not the usual intro. The intro is thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.